It's Madden NFL 23, and we'll play host to a battle between conferences. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints under the lights on Monday night.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us in downtown New Orleans at the Caesars Superdome. Tonight, we've got the crew set for what should be a real treat, a great Monday night matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And we are underway from the Superdome. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by a 3-time Pro Bowler, owner of over 35,000 passing yards in 11 seasons, the veteran Andy Dalton.
I love his football IQ. I love his ability to have people rally around him. And as he likes to remind me all the time when I get ready to call one of his games, I can run it a little bit too. A nice presence to have on your team.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all. Challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Dalton. There's Chris Olave. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. Throwing, Dalton. And that will be incomplete.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
Blake Gillikin on the punt now on 4th down. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Time to see this wide-open Baltimore offense go to work, and leading them pretty darn good with it. Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
And he remains the league's premier rushing threat and one of the biggest playmakers among quarterbacks. His goal each and every season, continue to expand his game as a passer and become well-rounded. All those highlight reel plays you see, they come off the fact that he can run it, throw it, and scares defenses every time he takes a snap.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. The drive starts with a carry by Edwards. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They go play action with Jackson. Open man downfield is Duvernay. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain there of 21 yards.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground and how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Play action. Now Jackson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Cameron Jordan wreaking havoc with a sack. The defense is always talking about not letting Lamar Jackson get comfortable. A good job there on his opening drive of making him uncomfortable.
And you're talking about doing it so early in the game because all week long, there's been anxiety on the defensive side of the ball. How do we keep this guy hemmed in? How do we tackle him? To get it done that early, that's got to feel great for them.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Jackson now. Flushed out right. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Devin Duvernay, 70 yards. And the Ravens put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. As he was shuffling right out of the pocket, you could just tell he was going to take a shot downfield. He had his eyes down there the whole way.
He certainly did. He wasn't taking off to go, right? When he was flushed from the pocket, a lot of times you see him, eyes will drop, ball will get tucked, and he takes off, becomes a running back. But as you noted, stayed alive as a passer, tremendous body control, and a pretty good arm there, too.
Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. A quick one here, hauled in by Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 there, and a New Orleans first down.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body, because the defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up the first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Back to Kamara for another catch. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply, if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Dalton off play action. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And he is going to have a Saints first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team, because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Dalton here from the gun. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The Saints passing game in sync and moving the football. It's a first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. It looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
From the 31, Dalton. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. Got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Passing, it's Dalton. Olave over the middle. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Play action now, Dalton. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Juwan Johnson from 3 yards out. And the Saints are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
You got it figured out by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Will Lutz on for the point after. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. So we'll leave it at 7 now as they kick it away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Lutz to try to add the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. Baltimore's offense starting another drive. It's Gus Edwards at running back. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, are going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now it's Jackson. And he'll go right back to Andrews. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Back deep, a Louisiana native, Jarvis Landry. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. Calais Campbell on the stop. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Dalton. It's caught. Smith. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. To throw here, Dalton. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a third and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out third and long.
I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Despite only needing one, Dalton to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 36. The defense surrenders a 13-yard pass play there on 3rd and 1.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Dalton. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try to pick up another first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And it'll be Dalton again. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, that flag puts them on their heels a little bit more defensively as the officials walk it upfield.
Yeah, and they can blame the officials all they want, but bottom line, it's their own fault because, to me, that was an avoidable call. Stay focused and avoid major mistakes like that.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
Second and 10.
And Dalton to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. So on 4th down, on comes Saints kicker Will Lutz from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. The kick by Lutz is good, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
This taken in at the goal line.
And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Now Jackson on first down. That's going to be caught. It's James Prochet. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Now how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
They'll set up the screen to Drake. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Throwing again on second down. Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
And the Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? He's got Smith here. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So Dalton now. This is caught. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? Now Dalton. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Jarvis Landry as the first half is winding down. And the Saints will extend their lead here just before halftime. Well, Charles, after the first quarter, it was just complete disaster for them. Everything has flipped. I mean, it's 180 degrees in the other direction now here in quarter 2.
Championship effort right there. How about them marching almost the length of the field, coming through on their final opportunity to get the win? This is one that this team will remember forever,
as well as their fans.
Runs with the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And they didn't get a whole lot accomplished through the air in those first 2 quarters of play. They'll need to up their game if they want to rally all the way back. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they were even better throwing the football. Lots of open receivers to choose from, and you can bet that'll continue to be a focus in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. This offense returns to the field led by Devin Duvernay, a wide receiver. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They'll run with Edwards, and he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Saints. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. Well, they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. All right, let's see what Dalton can do after the fumble recovery. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points?
I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them totally and change the momentum.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Dalton here from the gun. And it's caught. Touchdown. Andy Dalton with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's a old reference there, folks. But yeah, they've been the better of the two teams by far, and that's great complementary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores, open up a pretty sizable lead.
Lots will look to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Duvernay now going to bring it out. Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll run with a late signee in camp. This is Kenyon Drake. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Jackson now. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
And attempted a deep ball there, and they didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
Dalton's throw complete there to Smith. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Looking to throw again on second down. Dalton.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Well, he certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Dalton off play action. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. So the completion gets him just a yard, and it'll be second down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. Here's Dalton. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
What part do they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
They'll start with the option.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
On second down, it's Edwards. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
That's taken in by Duvernay. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
On first down, Drake. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Third quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. Off the option, here's Edwards.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
On third down, Jackson. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis.
this. And the Saints will take over here at their own 12-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The offense on third down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Passing, it's Dalton. Throw left side complete to Troutman. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big play there on the catch and run. And it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. The one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Another 6-yard carry, same as last play. First down.
And sometimes things come together exactly like you want. It's not just been the volume of carries he's had in this contest. It's been the production as well.
Again, it's Kamara. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. 45 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Kamara up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Andy Dalton.
He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman.
And this won't be enough. Stopped a yard short after a gain of 3. 4th down.
Holding. Offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it. Brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Fourth down. Dalton wants to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Pass on the crossing route is complete. This is Andrews. And they're going to get this up to midfield. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. On the draw is Edwards, and he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Jackson. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And he comes back with one complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And that's good for a pick.